Hi, we're back on another episode of Slay with me, Leigh M. Clark. Today we're here with one of my favorite humans on the whole planet. I was just joking that I am a baddie hunter and my days are filled with looking around Instagram and finding amazing women and people making their mark and leaving their impact in the world. And I get to New York City, which is my home state, which means a lot. And I find literally one of the youngest, most woke individuals I've ever met, Yasmin Elzomor, who's here with us today. In street terms, I would say she's multidimensional and intentional, which I definitely stole from an interviewee somewhere along the road. Somebody said multidimensional and intentional, and I'll apply that to her. But a trauma coach, a life coach, a thought leader, someone who's trying to help other people have that quantum leap, that moment she had at 21, where she really put herself into a different, I hate to say spiritual realm because it's sounds super crunchy, but she knows what I mean. For the people listening, what I mean by that is she started to become more aware as a person of how she could help others and how she could connect others and being beyond oneself, which in your 20s most people are not really beyond themselves. They're usually into themselves where they rightfully belong. But Yasmin's the best. So not only am I now her official publicist, she has a publicist. It's me because I literally am let me be your pimp, Yasmin. Can I just? I don't, and I'm sorry if that's a trigger for anybody, but I'm literally, I love her, and I just want the whole
Good.
world to see her, and that I just
Oh,
think you're terrific. So thank you for coming to the show.
oh my God, Leigh. Thank you for, I mean, you always know how to this is why you're my publicist though, because
I
like
feel like I just said supercalifragilistic expialidocious, and it's Yasmin.
you're so cute. Like you know me so well. Like every time you just like hit the nail on the head. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. And we're going to do random
Exactly.
pop-ups because of it. We've had a lot of offline conversation, but there's so much I want to tackle in this interview. First, I want the people to get to know you, your backstory, where you're from, and how you got to this moment of wokeness.
Totally, totally. So yeah, thank you for such a beautiful intro. Yeah, what a journey it's been. I'm 31 now. And at 21, I had a spiritual awakening. I know it sounds woo-woo for the people that are not like spiritually in tune and whatnot, but it basically was a moment of time where I just an existential crisis, you can call it, where I realized like, oh, I am not doing the things that I love. I'm in a toxic relationship. My friendships are not supportive whatsoever. I don't feel seen. I don't feel heard. I don't feel confident. Like everything just felt very bland, in life. And I was just kind of on this hamster wheel of like, make money, pay the bills, like chase status, chase all these things that society forces on us, right? And it's like, oh, if you don't do this, then you're not good enough, right? Or you won't become successful. And yeah, that's what I was doing, right? I was like working so many different jobs, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And like nothing was landing, like nothing was landing. And I started to after my awakening at 21, I like started to take things more seriously. And I was like, let me, start meeting new people, immersing myself in different communities and seeing like what works and what doesn't, right? It was like full on, a path of self-discovery. And I committed to that. It was my goal, my mission to just learn about myself. So I read all the books, listened to all the podcasts, went to all the wellness events, I like made new friendships and obviously I lost old friends, like they fell off. And I was like, okay, well, this is part of the journey. My ex and I at the time we broke up because we both were on completely different pages at that point. We were like, okay, I realized like this is not going in the right direction. This is not supportive to either of us. So it's time, it's time to let this go. It's time to stop watering dead plants. Like that was my motto at the time. And it still is, but I realized like probably around 25 at the age of 25, 26 that I wanted to start coaching and helping people, and I was like, I want to help people understand themselves the way I've learned to understand myself, because only then can we truly be confident in ourselves and in our bodies and how we show up and how we present ourselves. But if we don't know ourselves, we're easier to manipulate by people, by systems, by society, right? Like if we don't know ourselves, we lack confidence, we don't know how to show up, we don't feel good, and that leads to a bunch of different issues and different problems too in life with like relationships and yourself and and whatnot. So I realized like this is it. This is what I want to do. amongst many other things, obviously, because I like doing many different things. But my main purpose and my passion in anything that I do is to help other people understand their own power and come back to themselves. Like that to me is like the goal. And whether I
Yeah.
do that through coaching, whether I do it through modeling, whether I do it through photography or any other thing that I like to do, any other of my like my paths and my hobbies, it always comes down to the same thing. How can I help people become more powerful and like genuine power, not this egotistical like you and I have spoken about, Lee. Like people are like, oh, I'm powerful because all these external things and because I have money or I'm beautiful or all these things. And it's like, no, no, like genuine internal power where that cannot be taken away by anyone or anything because you yourself have gone through the fire and you've been forged by that fire, you know?
100%. And I think you touched on a couple things that I want to speak to. We'll talk about the friendships part in a minute because I believe there's a vibrational frequency that you go up and they fall off, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
just really when you're getting to the point of escapism, right? So what people don't realize a lot is gossiping, being into other people, TV, alcohol, drugs,
Drugs. Yeah.
all of it is abandonment of self. It's escapism, right? My
Yes.
second TED talk is called Self-Loathing as a Motherfucker. It's all about escapism, right? And we do that to avoid, we don't like our life, we don't like our job, we don't like our situation, our
Right.
relationship, our all the things. And our life is the sum of our choices, right? Our life is literally like whenever I'm heavy and I like gain weight, I'm like, oh my God, I'm wearing my bad decisions. Like literally, we
Yeah.
are like the culmination of our decision making, right? So the more that we escape, the more we abandon oneself. And to your point earlier, that's why there's no true power in external validation or materialism, cars, trips, status, or being liked, numbers of likes,
Nope.
followers, etc.
Nope.
It is hollow because it's all focusing on abandoning yourself. You're going outward. And people think like being introspective means you're self involved. No, self aware and self involved, very fucking different things.
Whew.
Very
I
different.
love that you said that. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, because you're like, oh, I should think about others all the time. We just said this offline. Like, you have to get to a moment where you have to really clearly ask yourself, do I really, really, really care about others, or do I really, really care about how other people feel about me?
Yes. Or
And,
the
and
perceptions, right,
get
of other
clarity
people.
on that,
Right.
and be honest with yourself, because that will free up a lot of the people pleasing crap. That and
Yeah.
people pleasing is
Yeah.
manipulative. We just talked about that offline as well. We don't
100%.
do that. Don't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But to your point,
I
that's where
love
the
it.
power comes in. That's where the authenticity comes from, shirking the abandonment of self, stopping all of these external needs. And it's not to say like I like nice shit. I like
Yeah.
things. I like
Totally.
a
We like
spa
luxuries. We
vacation.
obviously like making money, like there's no problem with liking these things, but it's
It
more like
shouldn't be
where
the
are you
source of
placing your
joy.
value? Like, are you getting your value and validation from these things, or are they just things that you enjoy and you know how to detach from them? I think that's the
Yeah.
difference. And I've
Yeah.
experienced like you made such a good point before with like escapism, where I at one point, because I started modeling when I was like 17, 18 years old. And at some point, when in my early 20s, I was escaping through that, because I got validation from being physically attractive, right? So, and that was my identity for a certain period of time where if I didn't get like a casting or I didn't get a call back, it would hurt me. It was like
Mhm.
rejection in my heart because I was like, it means I'm not pretty. It means like
Yeah.
another girl is
Yes.
chosen because I'm not good looking. I'm not as pretty as she is. Unfortunately, like modeling, there's so much sister wounding in that
Mhm.
case, and we'll get into that.
Yes.
It's really sad because a lot of women like go at it and they compete, and obviously like you're competing for the job, so I understand why. But like I went through so much of that and I realized I'm like, yeah, I don't want to identify with that role or with making tons of money because I was making a lot of money at the time with the jobs I was working and I was putting all my value in all of these things, realizing I'm not even happy doing these things because it's not even coming from a place of like I genuinely want to. It's coming from a place of, hey, validate me, give me attention, love me for this. And it was
Right.
like inauthentic. So yeah, I agree. Like these things are not like they're great to do. Modeling is a wonderful, like I love doing it and it's a way of self-expression now at this point because I've learned to like move through that. But back then it wasn't like that. Back then it was
Yeah.
coming from a very different place. It was coming from a very egotistical place for me. It
And
was
it's a
more
painful
shallow.
place for so many people. And I'm glad that we're talking about it because most people in this day and age are associating their worth with metrics. And I remember having a kid stay late after it was the night before spring break. It was like a whole I was doing this kindness and compassion course at FGCU, and
Uh-huh.
they brought me in as a guest speaker, and they kept me late to ask me questions. And the guy said, does the number of followers you have bring you like make you feel a type of way, like make you feel good? And I said, listen, my goal is to make an impact, right?
Yeah.
So when I see numbers that quantify that I'm making an impact, of course, like that feels like, okay, I'm doing
Yes.
it. But you and I having this conversation is far more impactful than you scrolling past me with your thumb on the way to a cat meme. Like that's very forgettable, right? So we have to rate both quality and quantity. And we are living in, and I love that Black Mirror, if anybody didn't see it with Bryce Dallas
Mm.
Howard about
Hmm.
her social quotient. If you didn't watch
Yes.
it, look up the
Yeah.
Black Mirror, Black Bryce Dallas Howard. But it is a little bit of the society where all of your digital like metrics kind of like validate you.
Yeah.
It's so far from the truth because what's meant for you will never miss you. What misses you was never meant for you. So every casting call you go on, it's already in your fate or in your cards.
Yeah.
It's our
Totally.
job to do a faith
Totally.
walk in entrepreneurship and using our creative gifts in putting ourselves out there. And we said this offline and we'll say it again, like everyone wants to be seen, no one wants to be judged, right? So how's that going to happen?
I love that
Wrong.
quote that you
Actually,
say.
everyone wants to be seen, no one wants to be judged unfavorably. Okay,
Yes.
so that didn't even work for like Jesus, Mother Teresa,
I know.
Gandhi, like, but
None of that
yeah,
worked ever.
you and your bag of Cheetos, like no one's judging, right? No one's judging you on like the fact that you don't put your kids in seatbelts. Whatever it is that you're like, oh, I can't believe people are judging me,
It's so
and I do put my kid in seatbelts. But the point being is, we a lot of times, and we fight the world to fight ourselves. So
yeah.
our shortcomings, whatever we don't like about ourselves, we'll look for the world to confirm that on
Yes.
some level, and we will find
Yes.
it. You will find it if
Yeah.
you get real clear on what you don't like about yourself. You will find someone to validate that for you.
Absolutely.
And then we either fight back to them. Who could say this about me? Why would they say this? Oh my God, it's so hurtful. We shame ourselves. Oh my God, I'm bad. I don't feel good. Like there's just so much. And really, it's like what's meant for you will never miss you. What misses you or never meant for you.
Absolutely.
It has nothing to do with us. It's beyond it.
Mhm.
All you have to do is keep stepping towards joy. So I want to talk about that for you because when I say multidimensional and intentional, she's got this whole visual storytelling thing that she stepped into. But what you were saying is whether showing up in modeling, whether showing up to do light work, spiritual work, or to create, stunning visuals and capture emotions. I mean, you're really an
Yeah.
emotional storyteller who's
Yeah.
capturing things. What's the journey been like? Because I think what the common denominator of all the things you do is one, they come from the heart, and two,
Yeah.
they are things that bring you joy genuinely and authentically.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about like your evolution into this visual storytelling.
Yeah, totally, my love. Thank you for bringing that up. But yeah, it's interesting how it all weaves together for me, because it's all like very similar. I think the goal of everything is to help people feel confident, help people feel more powerful, That brings me the most joy is when I take, when I for photo when photography, for example, when I take a picture of someone or I do a shoot for someone and, a woman comes to me and she's not feeling confident and then after she leaves feeling so much more confident and brand new. And she's like, holy crap, I didn't know that that's what I look like. That is my joy. And
Yeah.
same with modeling, right? Like if I can inspire people with like my expression or my sense of fashion, something as simple as that, and people are inspired by that in some way, to me, that's like, okay, I'm winning. It feels like I'm winning when I do that. Um, hasn't been always easy because for sure being seen was one of my biggest fears, and I knew like in my mid 20s when I started like doing coaching and stuff, I knew that um I wanted to leave a legacy and an impact, and in order to do that, you have to be willing to step out on the scene and be seen. Like
Right.
you have to be willing to put yourself out there. And it's not about you, it's about others. The message is for others. And it's like, don't be, and I would always tell myself, don't be selfish. It's not about you. It doesn't matter what people think or say about you. What's the message that you want to share with the world? And if you think it's really important and you're really about this, you'll do it. You'll step out into the scene and you'll allow yourself to share what needs to be shared with the world. So for sure it was a difficult journey and I the last few years I feel like I've been seen so much more in my career, like with so many different things. I've been featured in different places and I've done a lot of different things in my career with photography and coaching and with my podcast even, like so many things have happened in I would say the last 3 years that have forced me to step out into the limelight and to be okay with being seen and being judged and being criticized for the things that I say or the things that I share with the world.
Yeah.
And realizing that not everyone's going to be on board with the things that you have to say. Not everyone gets it. And you always talk about this because you're like
Mhm.
with the kindly, like the things that you've done in helping other people, and you have such a big, beautiful heart. And I say this too, it's like Leigh did so many amazing things, and she's done so much. She's done so much to help people, and yet she still had haters. You know what I mean? There were still people that didn't like what you were doing.
Totally. Totally.
You're-
And they still don't like me. No,
Yeah,
not
if
even just.
anything, people with the most light get the most hate, because you're
Mhm.
you have so much light that you are shining that light on people's demons and darkness, and
It's
not everyone.
polarizing.
Yeah, totally. And not everyone's ready to see that. If they're not doing the work on themselves, they're going to see you as a threat. It's going to be too much. You're going to be too intense, like blah, 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 all these things. So I knew that I had to deal with all of this stuff. I knew that over time, this is something that I need to deal with, meaning I have to get really good with myself. I have to feel
Yeah.
really good with myself because it doesn't matter if it's now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, there's always going to be judgment. There's always going to be criticisms for the things that I do, the way I show up. And I have to be okay. If I'm going to share my message with the world, I need to be okay with that. So
Yes.
I'm good with that.
Amen. And when you level up too, I just got such a visual because as you're saying it, it makes sense. Like when you open the curtains and it's been dark in the room, and all of a sudden it's disruptive. It's
Yes,
disruptive.
it's
Like
disruptive.
it takes a lot to balance with that. When we talk about friends falling out, because if anybody has the guts to
Yeah.
be self-aware and empathetic and go on that, take those two things, self-awareness and empathy, and work at them every single day, you will lose so many friends.
Oh my God.
You will
Quick,
lose so many friends. No,
quick.
and not in a bad way, in a way that's like cleaning the system for the highest vibration people to emerge.
Yes.
Because when you vibrate higher, there's people who they're not ready to do the work. They
No.
don't want to be self-aware. They don't want to feel for you genuinely, not
Yes.
performatively, like does she
Right.
like me, but genuinely feel for you. And they don't want to look at their own shit. They don't want to be wrong.
Yes.
They don't want to have messy. They don't want to have mistakes. They want to have wine. And no,
Yes.
not to say anyone likes wine, but I'm just
Right.
saying there's a lot of
Right.
that. Like I don't
Because
want
it's an
to
ego death. That's why.
and if we're not ego people, then we have to let everybody be where they're at on the spectrum of gray to light, right? So
100%.
dark to light, it goes the whole way. And if they're not ready for the brightness, like it dawned on me one day, oh, it's that Post Malone song that he's like, I think my love would be too much. And I was like,
Oh
how?
yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah, like
That's
I
right.
just think, oh my God, who wouldn't want somebody who does all the wonderful things and does all the like amazing things? And I'm like, yeah, I'm a lot. Like, and so I think that we also have to be aware that even though and us like light work or joy people just like we want everyone to feel good, right? Also, just so the world is better for us to live in. Frankly, that's me. I'm sorry, the kindly years. For all those years,
Same.
I just wanted everybody to be happy and nice and kind. And I can't fix the whole world, it turns out, but I'm trying in little pockets to focus my energy. But to
Yeah.
your point earlier about losing friends, again, what's meant for you will never miss you. What misses you was never meant for you. And you have
Yes.
to expect that if you were going to go
Yes.
to the next level. So you quantum leap at 21.
Oh,
That must have been just like a total demolition and rebuilding of friendships. Yes.
it
No
was
wonder
a
you got
literal
social.
demolition. That is a great way to put it. That you just honestly, you're amazing. Yes, it was a
Extreme home makeover
demolition.
soul edition.
Yes, everything just fell apart. I was just like, okay, that's cool. Like, what else? What else, universe? Just when it's raining, it's pouring.
You're like Taylor Swift after the Kanye beef, like everyone just hates me and we go hide in the
Yeah,
corner.
just throw it on me. Why don't you? Just keep going,
Mhm.
It's just, it was a shit show. Like it felt like such a shit show because I was like, I mean, at 21, I just want to chill with my friends. I don't want to have to deal with an existential crisis. Like,
Right?
why
Why
am
am
I
I here?
I just want to hang out. I just want to have fun. Like, why is this happening? And then going through this, I'm losing friends left and right because they see that I'm acting different. All of a sudden I don't really want to go out as much, or I'm a little bit more, going inward, and they're like,
Or
huh?
talk shit about other people and you're not interested. And
Yes,
they're like, why not?
Yes, all of a sudden I'm like, I don't really want to be a hater. I don't really want to like,
Right.
like do this anymore. This
Why is that
doesn't resonate,
cool?
And it was very from one moment to the next, and everyone's like, "Huh? Like, where is this coming from?" So
Yeah.
I don't know. I had an existential crisis, guys, and then they're like, "Okay, you're insane," So it's like, no matter what, I wasn't going to be seen by them because they weren't
Right.
path, and
Right.
that's
That's
okay.
important.
That's okay. I'm not here to force them. I'm not here to like fix them or change them or like tell them that they need to do this and preach. But what I am here to do is like walk my path and then like you said, make space for the people
Right.
that I want to be in. And the
Right.
second that people started leaving, the right people started coming in.
That
I
part.
started making amazing friends that are still friends with me today till this day. Like they're amazing human beings that have been doing the work. They're very much like us, very intentional, very aligned, and just they're like sisters to me. They're like older sisters to me, and they were like mentors, at the time. Meeting them was just like, holy shit, I needed this. And that's why I'm so fond of the feminine, because I've
Yes.
always been around older women that have been like mother figures, like sister figures, like holy shit, am I lucky being around these beautiful, amazing women that have so much power, like oracle power, And I'm like, oh wow, you guys are like
Mhm.
superheroes.
Which
You know,
is
like yeah, it's like baddies, like baddies. So it's
baddies. I love bad
like
witches.
wow, like I love this, I love being
Yeah.
like seen by the right women, the women that actually want to see me thrive and want to see me succeed and that I want to see thrive, and like we just like keep going back and forth, like I scratch your back, you scratch mine, and it's a never ending like bubble of love and support, right? So
Yeah.
that was the thing that like I felt I was missing. I didn't have that community when I was going through my awakening until years later when I started to actually grow into this new version of myself. And then I'm like, wow, this is it. This is what, true camaraderie, friendship, sisterhood actually feels like. Women that
Yeah.
actually like want to see you thrive and succeed, not women that want to tear you down or want to tear others down with you. It's like, yeah, that's not my vibe. I don't really care for that. So it was hard at the time, though. It's
Right.
not easy. Obviously, like when you're young and you have friends that were friends with you for many years and you've shared things together and whatnot, like losing them was difficult because yeah, there wasn't a necessarily like a fight. It's just a falling out. We just drifted. And
Yeah.
that's sometimes and it happens when you vibrate on a higher level, on a higher frequency, and you start doing
Mm.
work on yourself, naturally people just fall away because they don't get it. It's a
Yeah.
language. So I always say, like, frequency is a language. And it's like not
Yeah,
everyone
that
can
part.
speak the
It
same
is.
language.
And it is sad. And you do want to take everyone with you. You do.
Absolutely.
I mean, I remember when
Absolutely.
I first watched The Secret, sitting with my parents wanting them to see it. They're like, I don't know, they're falling asleep. I'm like, oh my God, it's like the whole like the meaning of life. Could you just stay awake? But it's not our job. That's the
No.
narcissism in my 20s and things
Yeah.
of me wanting to control somebody
Fix
else's
people. Yeah.
transcendental journey,
Yes. Yeah. That you cannot
like
mess.
somebody's
You can't
karmic
tamper with.
journey. Like I
Yeah.
remember even when my boyfriend and I started dating, he doesn't trust people easily. And I'm like, why? And I'm like, this guy's never trusted anybody. And I expect him to trust me in like 3 weeks. Like I
Right.
don't
Yeah.
relate just because I don't relate, but that's where the empathy piece, like you have to be self-aware to say,
Yeah.
oh, he's not like me. Like give him time. Like don't just assume like he's gonna like
Right.
trust you because you know you can trust you. Like that's
Yeah.
not
Give him some time to
necessarily
do it.
give people grace to like be human, and not
Yeah.
everyone's ready to go on the same path. Not everyone is prepared to look at themselves. It's some people it's just not, it's not the time for them not to go on it.
Yeah.
Everybody
Some
goes at
people are
their
just
own
not
rate.
for that,
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
Some people just never get to that point, and that's okay.
And that's what I say all the time when I deal with difficult people or people who are just, it's like, oh, that person who cuts you off in traffic. That's one of the other reasons I had to give the kindly thing up because like I can't flip anyone off of like the kindness lady. Like, I was like,
Hold
I
me
really held
accountable.
myself to like high, impossibly high standards of just,
Kind
I
of fair.
don't like, I'm like, is that kind? It's not really. I don't need to slip them off. But no, I do. I have empathy for those people because I think about the world through their angry, critical lenses
Same.
and the experiences they must have all day.
Yeah.
Because again, just like magnets on a desk, negative repels, positive attracts, negative repels, positive attracts, right? So if you go around being negative all day, you're just repelling people and you're having the magnets that push each other apart kind of energy with people. To your point, frequency is a language, right?
Yeah.
And so energetically, I think of it like this. I'm like, okay, if we die tomorrow, we none of us know. You guys know you don't know. By the way, you don't know. Nobody knows, right? Nobody knows. They think they know, but they might not know.
But you don't know.
Let's just say theoretically, and this aligns with all religions, so don't worry, guys who love religion. You're
Yeah.
covered in the
Yeah,
next sentence.
you're good.
You're
You're good.
good. What if we became the energy we most represented, right? So I love, God and things. So
Right?
like God is light, God is love. Jesus was
Yes.
like walking as a, like, he was the first advertising man for all of the things of be love. And, we have all these spiritual leaders, Mother Teresa, Buddha, Jesus, like all the people. What if you become the energy you most represented while you were here? And for people
Yeah.
who consider themselves empath, maybe you're just like neutrons and you just pick up charge. Like you could pick up some negative stuff, you could pick up some positive stuff. And
100%.
energy can never be created nor destroyed, right? So our souls are really comprised of that. And like when you think about that more
Absolutely.
actively and being the sum of your own decisions, how
Yeah.
many times are you looking at things with the positive lens? Are you
Yeah.
looking at a situation and giving people grace? Are you giving
Oh,
yourself grace? Are you giving yourself grace? Are you forgiving and allowing yourself to like just have a human experience without
yeah.
over engineering? So have you gone through that, like of just unpacking your high expectations for
Oh
yourself?
my God, huge. And I still go through that. You know what I mean? It's like I just want to make that clear too, even though I've experienced so much in my 20s and like, so much transformation. It's like it's ongoing. And obviously it never ends, right? I still consider myself young and I'm like, well, shit. I have a
You
ways to
are.
I have a ways to fucking go. Like I'm definitely humbled. Life has humbled me because in my 20s
Yes.
I was like, I know it all. And I
Right? That's when
like for
you know
sure I had
nothing.
such a condescending shadow like, oh, I know it all. Like I have it figured out. Like I've already been through an awakening, but it's like, no, no, this is constant. This is constant. You're constantly learning.
Yeah.
Had to face so much of that. I've had to face so much of like my inner critic time and time again, and I still face it. I still find myself like imposter syndrome. I still find myself feeling not good enough. I still find myself, feeling fear of being powerful, fear of stepping into that, even though I feel like I've done so much of that, there's still a lot left to go, and I'm like, yeah, it's scary. It's scary to be seen. It's scary to continuously put yourself in the fire, and throw yourself in the fire, trying new things and getting out of your comfort zone. Doesn't mean I won't do it. I'm definitely going to do
Right.
it. It's still terrifying. So yeah, I've had to face so much of that inner critic. And the best thing that I do is I purposefully um do things that make me feel imperfect. Like I
Mm.
do on purpose. For example, we talked about this offline, the podcast, right? Like I don't edit my podcast to make it perfect or make it look amazing or sound perfect. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
Right.
The message. I'm getting the message out there. I do my best, right? And that's good enough. And those who resonate will resonate. Those who don't, whatever, right? It's not my business. But the people who find the message, that's the whole point. The whole point's not for it to be perfectly curated and like, we have to look this way and we have to act this way. Like that's too much for me. That's way too much inauthenticity for me. And I'm just like, I cringe, I vomit at that. And, in the beginning, when I first started doing that and putting on my podcast, I was in that perfectionist mindset of like, I have to do these things to be successful. Again, I was in that like mindset of like, how do I become successful with my podcast rather than how do I get the message out there? Like that, it was the wrong focus. I was focusing on the wrong thing. And then, of course, like as time went on, I started to realize, like, no, no, I don't want to fall into that trap. The whole point is for my message to get out there and doing it in imperfect ways. You don't have
Yeah.
to, you don't have to show up like that. And that has actually helped me conquer that like inner critic because
Yeah.
now I'm so like used to doing things just being myself that I don't even think twice. And the
Yeah.
critic is so much more quiet now. It's not
Yeah.
nearly as loud as it was before.
And consistency is key. Like you have over 140 episodes of your podcast.
Yeah.
Like as
Yes.
her
I've been
new
super
like
consistent. Yeah.
as her new publicist, like when I think about, connecting Yasmin with different places for her voice to be heard, that's big deal to have 140 episodes, but you did it by showing up imperfectly consistently, which is also the human experience, by the way, guys. They just perfectly imperfect all the time and just do imperfect shit. But I love that
Exactly.
you embrace that ownership of the
Yeah.
imposter syndrome, which we all have. No one ever feels good enough. Like no one
Yeah.
ever, it's everyone else thinks somebody else has it more figured out. And like I think giving yourself grace and space for that but also just allowing yourself to appreciate the journey, the good parts, the bad parts, and the lessons. Like when you spoke earlier about knowing it all in your 20s, like that's when you
Yeah.
clearly know nothing, when you think you know everything.
I know. I
Um,
know. Yeah. Yeah. The
yeah,
second you start thinking that way, you actually know nothing. And you close
yeah.
yourself off to learning and like evolving too.
And I'll ask you this, and you know, I have to fight myself to do it these days, but when I earlier in, and I think mine was until my early 30s that I kind of had this like awakening. Let's say it was probably like, yeah, late 20s, early 30s. I wanted to
Which is
learn by
young.
teaching
That's young
everyone.
too.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
wanted to learn by teaching everyone else. And that's a mistake that we can make, and that's again comes from an ego place where we need everyone else to like know what we're learning instead of really
Yeah.
figuring it out. And just,
Right.
and now I have to ask myself all the time, is what I'm doing performative? Is it performative? Is it performative or is it joyful? Is it performative or is it joyful? Is it performative?
Yeah.
And it
You
doesn't
have to.
matter if you're throwing a like holiday soiree at your house and you're making custom craft Christmas fucking cocktails. If it feels like I can't wait for people to see this, it's so cool, it's performative.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
feels like I just love the way this looks. This makes me so happy.
Yeah. And I want to
That is
give, I
joy.
want to do. Yeah. That
I
exactly.
just love the way I feel. This makes me so happy. Not, I can't wait for, that's performative. And it's a question to ask everybody
Yeah,
all
that's a
day
good,
to ask
that's
yourself.
really good. That's really good. Yeah, because the ego is constantly sneaking up. Like
A
that it's
hundred
there. No
percent.
matter how much we evolve and we like have, dark nights of the souls and transformation, like all these things, right? All these woo-woo things. Ego's always gonna try to be like, hey, what's up? It's like a little
Yeah.
dog. It's like a little dog that you need to train,
Yeah.
You're never gonna get rid of it, but you can train it. You can train it to
Yeah.
not be in the passenger seat. You can be
Right.
not be in the driver's seat. You can be in the passenger seat. The soul's in the driver's seat. Let the soul be in
Right.
the driver's seat.
Well, people think ego is powerful too, but it's really a little nagging thing that's going, because
Yes.
that whole performative, I'm making Christmas cocktails. I can't wait for them to see them so they tell me I'm enough. Again,
Yes. It's
all the
validation.
performance is validation. Anything performative is looking for validation. Ego is edging God out, so being beyond oneself, right? So you're out there in the world trying to find the things.
Yeah.
When you can look at something, and of course, to capture it and share it. Listen, when I did acts of kindness, I got the haters, which was shocking. By the way, you guys suck. I mean that
Like
loving,
crazy.
suck.
Like lovingly, you guys suck.
Lovingly mean that you guys suck. But as the haters emerged, the first line of thing was, "Oh, she's doing this for attention," and I was like, "Am I though?" And then I asked myself. I went to a Buddhist temple. I asked myself, "Is
I
because I
love
was
you.
like, if it bothers you, why does it bother you? Is it true?" So now
Um,
my new thing is, if the shoe fits, wear it. If not, chuck it out the fucking window. So I asked myself,
if the shoe fits, wear it. Yes.
if
I did a
not, chuck
funny
it out
reel.
the
I did a funny
fucking
reel on
window. You know,
Instagram.
throw it up on one of the telephone wires because they need
Yeah.
shoes up there. That's place for it. Chuck it out the window. It doesn't fit. But if the shoe doesn't fit, like don't wear it, right? So, but I had to ask myself. So the first thing is, if somebody says something about you, ask yourself, is this true before you give it
Yeah.
any energy? So the
Yes. And
way
it's
I asked
true.
myself was, when I
Yeah.
did the act of kindness, was I like, oh my God, did they see me? No, I just did it and ran away. I didn't want them to see me. But when I
Yeah.
was so excited to share it online, I was like, oh my God, you guys, you got to feel this good. It feels so good. It feels so good to give. And I
Yeah.
love this. And you could be happy too. And you don't even need to buy wine. Buy somebody a scratch off. You're going to feel so good and they're going to
Yeah.
feel good and everyone benefits. When I checked my intentions, is it performative or is it genuine? And even through all the kindly years, if I was having a bad year, and I did a lot of acts of kindness through IVF and pregnancy and loss and
Yeah.
miscarriages, all the
Did
things.
it
I
through
never
all.
stopped.
Yeah.
But I will always ask myself if it was coming from a place where I felt like I had to perform and give, or if it was genuine. And if
So
it was a
good.
year that I felt like I didn't want to pay off layways, my heart's not in it. Even if people expected me to, even if I was on the Today Show in
Right.
2017, 2018, if my heart wasn't in it, I wasn't going to do it. And I
Yeah.
think we have to all do that more often. Like when you don't want to go to someone's baby shower and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to go to this girl's baby shower. But she doesn't want your stank ass energy in the room anyway. Stay in your
Yes.
sweatpants, stay
So just say
home.
no.
Just
Right.
say no. Just being clear is
Yeah.
being kind. We talked about that a little bit offline too.
Yeah, you could be
Yeah.
loving and say
Yeah.
no. And if it doesn't resonate, it doesn't resonate. But,
Yeah.
don't fall into the the people pleaser of like, oh, what's she gonna think if I say no? Right.
And if she doesn't come to your baby shower, give her some grace. Like maybe she just if she wasn't meant to be there, it's okay. Like give people like
Yeah.
the space to like know that if they're really your friends, they're for you and
Yeah. And they'll
they
show
want to be
up
there for
and
you. And if you
Right.
don't feel like you're there energetically, don't steal from someone's moment because you feel like you have to. That's people pleasing, and that's no bueno.
Yeah. And that's
Um,
also energetic hygiene. Like we
yeah,
talk about like
yes.
physical hygiene all the time, which obviously is very necessary, but like energetic hygiene is just as necessary. Doing
Mhm.
energy work on yourself, and by that I mean simple things like saying no if something doesn't resonate, rather than bringing your energy into a space where, you're going to be upset or you're not going to be happy or you're not going to be fully in it. That's not good because you're giving that energy to those people in the room or to that
Right.
person, and they're picking up on it too, even if
And
it's
it's
not
pulling down from
positive.
everybody else's genuine joy because you're not there being authentic. You're being there.
Yes.
And you cannot
Yes.
find genuine connection when you are disingenuine. And even
Yes.
though, and I'm like in people pleaser recovery, guys, I like love people so much. I wish I could make everyone happy. I really,
I
really, really,
know.
really,
Me
really,
too.
really
Me too.
wish
I
I
wish I
could
could
make
save the
everyone
world,
happy.
genuinely.
But
I'm
at the
like,
same rate, let people just be who they are. And not everyone's that fucking happy. And be real. And the more real we can be, the more that we can find our vibe attracts our tribe. That's how I found me a Yasmin Elzomor in the middle of New York City.
yeah. Yeah, being
And I hope,
ourselves.
yeah, and I hope people like follow her, watch Humanity Feels like she and I, you're gonna see more Yasmin because like we just need to like educate the people who want to hear it. If you don't want to
Yes.
hear it, that's cool too.
Yeah.
But I think like your vibe attracts your tribe. I want to see more people hear your message because I think it's so important
Thank
that
you.
you can just follow your joy and you can be just who you are and embrace the journey and give yourself like that grace and space like you do. So thank you for being on the show. Tell them how they find you, where they find you.
Yeah, thank you so much, love, for having me on. Just, I just feel so grateful. But you guys could find me on www.yasminelzomor.com. That's my website. So like if you guys want to work with me for coaching, that's my coaching website. Photography is visuals with yasmin.com. So anyone that wants to, do a shoot with me, I'm open for that. And Instagram is Yasmin Elzomor. And my podcast, Humanity Feels, Leigh and I have an episode on there. Like we did a fun episode. Like what
You
was it, like
did.
a month ago or something at this point? Yeah,
Yeah.
it was also amazing. And, we went deep into a lot of different topics. But I just want to say thank you for just being so real and so like authentic. And because seriously, authenticity is the highest form of love, and
That
when you
part.
show up that way, to me, that's true love. When you're just being yourself
Yes.
and you bring that to the table, I'm like, that's all you need to do. I don't need anything else from you. Like, I just need you to be your honest, full self. And I just embrace that. Everything
Yep.
else is a bonus. Literally, everything else is a bonus. It's just you. It's your essence. It's your energy that you bring. And so, yeah, I'm so grateful for you.
Back at you. I think like we're like energetic besties for the
We
resties.
are. I
And we're
know.
here to like Care Bear stare at all of you and make
Yes.
you not make you just like if you're willing to like do the work and
Encourage
be
you.
open and like come sit with us, right? So I think we're gonna do some pop-ups between now and the holidays,
Yeah.
especially things like we're gonna tackle like oh how not to talk about politics with the people you love at
Ugh.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Let's don't do
That's
that. So
fun.
so
Yeah.
stay tuned. So yeah, Yasmin, stay with me. You guys, we'll see you on the next one. And thanks again. You're a doll.
Thank you, love.